Well, Game 7, Stanley Cup Final. Nothing matters. I agree with what Kachuk says. The 3-0 series lead doesn't matter. The 3 wins don't matter. The 3 losses don't matter. The season doesn't matter. Nothing matters. There's only one thing that matters. There's only one thing I can guarantee. And no matter what, tonight, this thing is coming off.
We're hanging overtime! We're hanging overtime! We're hanging overtime!
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Puck drop. And 3, 2, 1.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
All right, Panther fans, here we go. So, I even told the dog who just continues to walk around on 3 legs, and about every 50 feet he has a stroke, and then when he's recovered from the stroke, he gets up and he hops on 3 legs for another 50 feet, and then he I don't know what to tell you. All right, he's still here. He's still doing what normal dogs would do, except for the fact that he can't walk, and he can't walk. Other than that, he's fine. It's been a better day. It's been a little bit of a better day. Each day since the last game, he's gotten about 10% better, maybe 5 to 10% better. So who knows? Who knows what is going on there? Take it day by day. Now, in terms of this hockey team, both hockey teams. Now, I'm going to say a word here, and I want you to brace yourself. Well, you already know what happened, so you don't need to brace yourself. I'm going to brace myself by saying overtime. Like what are we going to do? How are we going to live through that? How would we live through that? Because then you get to Game 7 of overtime of the Stanley Cup Final, and at that point, you think nothing matters now. Nothing that has happened up to that point matters at all, right? What I would like to see from the Panthers, obviously, is get a lead and keep it. Now, what I don't understand, I've seen the videos about how what Edmonton has been doing, leaving the forward deep and everything like that. What I don't understand is why March, whatever that time period was for the Panthers, where we won some ridiculous number of games, like 20 out of 25, or something crazy like that. And night after night after night was 2-1, 2-1, 3-1 because of empty netter. Every once in a while it was 3-2. But it was however many games in a row where we allowed 2 goals or less. And during that stretch of time, at any time, regardless of what was going on, when the puck went out of the zone and the camera panned to the Panthers' defensive end, there was 2 guys back. Now, I don't understand why we've been so aggressive with the Oilers when, if there's one thing the Oilers have over us, is speed. It doesn't make any sense, especially to keep doing it 3 games in a row. Now, the other thing with this series is that even though the series is even, it has been wildly not even. There have been 2 things that have been going on during this series. Either Edmonton has been dominating and has all the offensive zone time, or the Panthers have been dominating and have all the offensive zone time. There's been very few moments where both teams have at least looked, to my eyes, to our eyes, it hasn't looked even. It has either been one team dominating or the other. Now, that puts each of the fan bases under the, we can all say, we'll just play like that. Well, if it was that easy, we'd be doing it, right? So, I don't know if Maurice is going to go to the 2 defense. I don't know if he's going to play it that conservative. I wish he would. I wish that we would just play a conservative game, take our chances with winning at 2-1. You make sure Bob sees all the shots. There's no breakaways. And if you lose that way, you lose your way. But the Panthers giving up all these breakaways and everything. That's not our hockey. That's not our style. Now, the other thing is, what's Edmonton going to bring tonight? Are they going to anticipate any changes? The only lineup changes are Okposo's on the fourth line and Tarasenko's running in for Hagee's spot in the first power play. I got no real problem with that. I mean, you have to make moves where you're going to make them. That said, who's going to be the hero tonight? Is there going to be a hero tonight? Which game are we going to see? Are we going to see a game where Edmonton gets off to a lead and then we loosen up a little bit to try to catch up, and then it's 2-0, 3-0, and then we're sitting there throwing up by the middle of the second period? Or are the Panthers going to score first? Or are we going to get the dreaded 2-0 lead? I won't say this. I'm not going to say it, but let's just say the Panthers haven't been fantastic with 2-0 leads. We've allowed some teams to catch up, and even in those games that we were winning 2-1, it was 2-0, then it was 2-1, and then we would sweat out the third period. I lost count how many times I was sitting there the whole third period going, are we going to just try to hold this lead? Are we going to hold it? Are we really going to do this? And the whole third period would go by, and they'd hold the lead. You already know what happened in the game. I don't. I even told the dog, I said, for the next 4 hours, however long this is, we have to be happy. If he whines at me, he'll get a treat. But everybody's got to hold it together. I told him, we made it this far. We made it this far. I know all of the comeback. I know all that. I don't want to talk about it. It really doesn't matter. I know for the stories and all that and the memes, it certainly will matter. But right now, to this team, to the players, it doesn't. You got one game. You got a game at home. You win, it's over. You lose, it's over. Either way, the beard's getting shaved. All right, Panthers. This is the last video of my 8th season of covering this team. My heart is thumping. Let's do this. All right, so one after one, so nothing has happened. Verhaeghe with a beautiful deflection, and then Ekblad lets his man get behind him again for at least the second time, and Bob can no longer stop any kind of a breakaway. Not that it's completely his fault, but God, one breakaway save, Bob. 1 out of 5. Give me one breakaway save out of 5, and we might win this series. Panthers look like they're getting back to doing what they do well, but how, after the last 3 games, Ekblad could allow his man to get behind him? That's an individual error of stupidity. That said, it's a tie game. It's a tie game. Remember that word I said before the game. Let's move on to the second period. So, see, you all already know what happened. You already know what happened. Panthers have a 2-1 lead to start third period of Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Now, at the beginning of this video, I talked about that stretch of games where we would get a 2-1 lead and hold it for a whole third period. Sometimes it'd be 2-0 and we'd allow the 1 goal. But there were a lot of games where we're sitting there streaming, and I spent the whole third period saying, they're not going to just try to hold this 2-1 lead, right? They're going to get a goal. They're going to get a goal, right? And then they wouldn't, and they'd win 2-1 or 3-1 with the empty net. There's a couple things that we're still screwing up here, but we're still winning the game. The period ended with a face-off in the zone of the Panthers. And the reason why there was a draw is because Edmonton had come down the ice. And the reason why Edmonton had come down the ice was because Verhaeghe had the puck along the boards and tried one of those little soft 2-foot passes to Barkov. Edmonton got their stick on it, and it's out of the zone. If I had $1 for every time I've watched that happen these last 3 or 4 games, I'd be rich. They have been consistently doing that, and they've been doing the same thing in our own zone. Trying to clear the puck, just not hard enough. I don't know why we're doing that. I understand you don't want to continue to ice the puck because it feels like we're getting our asses handed to us in the circle. So anything can still happen from here. It's a lot of things that can happen from here. But one of them is that I could, the next time you see me, be screaming that the Panthers have won their first Stanley Cup. That's still on the table. Okay. Let's do this. How do I even start it? Bubba. Everybody, this is Bubba. Bubba. 2-1. Now, when we get to the next round of the playoffs, we're going to have to play a little bit tighter on defense. We can't allow so many breakaways like that. I'm not quite sure who we're playing next. Florida Panthers have just won the Stanley Cup. Desk! And we've been screaming for an hour. This recap is so late. I'm going to try to include some clips from the live stream the best I can. Recap might not even be out till 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the morning. Can't talk! I can't talk! I don't freaking believe it. I don't believe it. That was the only chance we had, was to play that ridiculous shutdown defensive style. As soon as that breakaway happened, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but as soon as that breakaway happened, finally, Maurice did what I was asking for 3 games, which was every time the camera panned to the defensive zone, there was 2 guys back, not just one. He finally told them to stop pinching. Of course, it helped that we had the lead, right? Sam Reinhart. So now he's going to want $10 million plus the VIG for having the Stanley Cup final winning goal. Oh my God, they did it. It's 2-1 to start the third period. And like I said, I said it to a couple people today. I said it here in this video today. There was that section of games where we were not allowing more than 2 goals. And the majority of them was 2-1 start the third period. And we'd sit there, and that was what you saw in that third period. A little bit of danger here, a little bit of here. Bobrovsky with this save, Bobrovsky with that save. This guy blocks a shot. This guy uses effort to get the puck cleared out of the zone. And I am sure right now that Edmonton Oilers fans are feeling like you guys got the better team. Right now, first things, hats off to Edmonton. Jesus. Maybe you win. I don't mean this to sound that way. I was going to say maybe you win next year, but maybe you win next year. I mean, the Panthers lost, come back, win it this time. Edmonton, you guys are in good shape. Skinner looks like he's going to be, he's going to develop to be the real deal there. He got you this far to come back from 0-3. Florida had trouble. They had trouble, no doubt, closing things out, but not today. I want to mention a couple of things. They got it right for Game 7. Roberto Luongo banging the hell out of that drum. He just smack that drum. All due respect to Jack Nicklaus, what were they thinking? The dude was like, we all saw in Game 5. That was whoever decided to put him out there should lose their job. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't know who thought that would be a good idea, but whoever thought that would be a good idea should not have a job unless they're feeling charitable because we won the cup anyway. But Luongo on the drum, beautiful. Paul Maurice, did you see Paul Maurice lift the cup? Oh my God. The relief on his face. You could just see all 20 whatever years of being a head coach just come to him and just all be worth it. Everything be worth it. Barkov with the cup, then Bobrovsky. Then they surprised me a little bit. They went with the newer veteran guys that hadn't been on the team that long. Okposo, OEL, Kulikov, and they went with the more veteran guys. Then they finally went to Ekblad. I thought it would have been Barkov, Ekblad, because he's been here the longest with Barkov, then Bob, then some of the other guys. But I'm sure maybe they worked it out beforehand. You know what I mean? It probably matters more to us, the order, than it does to them. That third period, I mean, just there was not one flurry in front. The puck, they didn't show us what happened. It was that flurry in front, and Bob landed on it, and Bennett landed on it, and there was a whole big scrum, and the ref said no, and then they went to commercial. And they did not show us before they went to commercial what had actually happened. And I was quietly, I didn't say anything, but I was very concerned that we were going to come back from a commercial and they were going to be like, well, we're actually in review because we're looking at the puck and it might have actually crossed the line. I was concerned that was going to happen. And then once that clock, the first 10 minutes of the third period, that was like death. The Oilers just face off, killing us in the face-off zone. Offensive face-off zone. Lundell finally wins one, gets it back to Rodriguez, and he skies it down the damn ice, and we iced it again. But once it got under 10 minutes, boy, that clock just... I mean, it just went. It just went so fast at the end. I don't know if Edmonton kind of ran out of steam trying to get a goal there. I kind of was expecting a bigger push from them in the last 2 or 3 minutes, but Florida wasn't having any of it. I don't believe it. They held that whole lead the whole game. The whole rest of the game. They held a 2-1 lead in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final for at least like 25 minutes. That is absurd. That is obscene. But that, as Kyle would say, was the Paul Maurice masterclass. I take it back, calling him a moron. You guys know I don't call him. I'm not really thinking a moron. In that moment, he was a moron. But obviously, that's not the full depth of my feeling about the coach. I do enjoy his press conferences. I just don't enjoy it when we're losing 3 games in a row in the Stanley Cup Final. That's that. I don't care about your quips then, Paul. Then figure something out. And they did. They did. They got it together here at the end. You could see it in the first period. Anytime a forward, it didn't matter. They were playing as 5-man unit. Whoever went in to pinch, the guy that was in the middle of the ice just went out to cover for whoever was pinching. And they just did that. So once I saw that, and Ekblad had his man get behind him, but that was it. As soon as that happened, Maurice was like, "Oh, you son of a bitches!" I told him to do it 2 games ago. I told him you put the shot collar on Ekblad. If he moves past our circles, get back. Stop. You should not be pinching, Aaron. Look at me. We just won the Stanley Cup, and I'm finding the reason to complain about Ekblad. Come on now. I got to complain about something. We got to have good luck going into next year. They won. They frickin' won. I don't believe they did this. I mean, the juxtaposition between the two possibilities. First off, you got the 3-0 series lead. Okay, now it's tight. But now you got a 2-1 lead going in the third period. So you've already blown the 3-0 series lead. Now you've got this 1-goal lead in Game 7 with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the ice. Are you going to hold that lead? You're going to play to hold that lead? What kind of... Are you out of your mind? But you did. They held the lead. And I told you at the beginning of this video, when the Panthers were winning in the middle of the year, when they went through their ridiculous run, that's what they were doing. They'd get a couple of goals, they'd get a 1-goal lead, maybe a 2-goal lead, and they would do that. We're not taking a shot, we're not doing anything other than playing defense and keeping the puck out of the back of the net. And it worked. It's just... So... Remember the end of the last video when I said nobody's going to care about free agency and all of that? I guess we care now. I guess we care now. What is it? Today's the 25th, right? I don't even think we have a week. Right? Free agency starts on July 1st, right? So that means tomorrow we're going to have like a celebratory type of live stream where you guys can join. I couldn't do that today in the post game because Fluffy, he waited all game for me to get him outside, and once I got him outside, it's like a 45-minute process of getting him back in. So I didn't have all the guests today, but tomorrow we'll have a stream where I'll put the link and y'all can join and everybody can celebrate that way. That's the 26th. The 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. June only has 30 days, right? I think. Whatever it is, we got less than a week till Colin and I will be doing the free agency stream. So, I mean, geez, right? It's just like that. They have, Reinhardt is going to go into Zito's office and be like, so, hey, I won you the Stanley Cup. Come on, where's my contract? I mean, you want to talk about the dude was kind of quiet, you know what I mean? He's been kind of quiet. And just as an asterisk to his contract demands, by the way, Bill, did you see the goal I scored the other night? Just so happens, you see the cup over there? Just so happens, that's my goal. So where's my contract? I don't want to get into that whole thing, but I would be shocked if anything other than Montour leaving and Reinhardt signing happened in terms of those two guys. I would suspect that Montour's gone and Reinhardt's going to stay. I think that's how that's going to work out. Bubba was so happy, man. Oh my God, he's skating around with the cup, and he's just, I mean, they all were just so happy. But especially for the, you know, the veteran guys. I mean, Okposo, that was nice to see. OEL, I really enjoyed watching Kulikov. Okay, oh my God, it's so weird with Kulikov because, you know, we drafted him and we traded him. The summer we traded him, that's when I started this channel. Was that you know, that season. And look, Edmonton, man, the flip side to this, since I want to talk about this for a couple of minutes here, because there's been a lot of Oilers fans that come into the chat and come into the recasts with a lot of really nice comments. I have not had one mean Oilers fan. You've all been fantastic, and everybody's understanding the situation with the dog and all of that. I can't imagine the pain right now that you guys are in. None of my sports teams have done what yours just did. All right, so like I had Marino lost the Super Bowl. I was a kid, and we just kind of thought, no big deal, we'll be back. But it wasn't anything like this. I mean, coming back from 3-0, and then to have 25 minutes of the game where I'm sure you're all figuring you guys are going to get that goal and win it in overtime. I'm sure you felt that way because even in this game, we had trouble clearing the zone. Let's be honest. There was some times there where Edmonton would just like cycle the puck and 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 we just could not clear the puck, and they just keep it and keep it and keep it. I don't know how that game ended 2-1, but it did. And I'm sure that Oilers fans are sitting there, you could watch that game 100 times and be like, how do we not at least tie that game? So I genuinely feel for you all because, you know, at 3-0, it's not that you quit, but at 3-0 at that point, you're like, well, all right, you know what I mean? But then 3-1, and then about 3-2, you start going, hey. And then 3-3, you're like, we got this. And even tonight, Panthers get a goal. A couple minutes later, Edmonton ties the game. And I'm sure, again, Oilers fans at that point were like, that's it. Because the big, again, you know, that there were parts to that second period where that's when Edmonton was just like, we couldn't clear the puck. We couldn't clear the zone. And then all of a sudden, we get this one opportunity. Reinhardt's coming down. And then I yelled, shoot! Because we had been in that position before, where that Reinhardt goal was. We had been in that position all series long. And instead of shooting, we were consistently trying what? Those stupid cross-ice passes, and you could see Edmonton's defense was set up. If Reinhardt passes that puck to anybody, Edmonton's getting a stick on the puck, and it's going back the other way, okay? I yelled, shoot! And Reinhardt said, F it, and shot. and just barely beats Skinner short side, and that wins the Stanley Cup. And we held them for 20, 25, well, however long it was that we held. And both teams, right? Panther fans are sitting here thinking, we done this. This is our groove, man. It's 2-1. It's 2-1. This is our groove. We can hold this. But Edmonton, you guys are probably thinking, we need a goal. We got Draisaitl and McDavid. Come on. This is going to overtime, right? So I'm sure that you guys were surprised. I know you guys have been disappointed. It was a hell of a series. I mean, there's nothing left to say about that other than that easily could have been Edmonton skating with the cup out there, and me and here were a completely different mood. We won the Stanley Cup. Kyle and I have been streaming the channel's been here for 8 seasons. Kyle and I have been streaming the games for 2 years, and we've been in a Stanley Cup final each time. So you're welcome. I'm kidding. Now, if we go again next year with us streaming the games, then I'm gonna have to call the Panthers and be like, hey, pay up. All right, we should get an assistance fee. Okay, we did it. We did it. All that crazy emotion. I mean, it hasn't really hit me yet. It hadn't really hit me yet. You know? I mean, it has, but, like, I think the fact that there's less than a week till free agency kind of just like, I mean, you hear, I'm talking about free agency is in a week and we're just raising the cup. That's crazy, NHL. That is crazy, okay? I mean, put some space in there a little bit. I mean, the parade's going to be like Wednesday. What's today? Monday? Parade won't be Wednesday? Won't be Tuesday. Wednesday, maybe Thursday. Reinhardt's got to sign his contract over the weekend, and then I guess it's Monday. That would be free agency. Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy. All right, I'm gonna go save Kyle from streaming, and I hear Fluffy in there whining. For those of you who have been keeping up to date, he is fighting. The dog is fighting. I think part of the problem with the walking now is pretty sure he tore his ACL. So he's hopping around on 3.5 legs. When he wakes up in the morning, his heart can handle the day and his legs can handle the day. And because he doesn't realize what his body is doing to himself, as the day goes on, he wants to get up and walk around and go outside and get up and walk around. So by the end of the day, like now, getting him inside from outside is a bitch because his leg is like, I'm done. His heart's like, I'm done. So if y'all saw what he's putting himself through to walk into the house, then he plops. And every night I look at him breathing when I come inside. I'm like, there's no way this dog's going to live through the night. And then he does, and he wakes up and he's like, hey, I'm fine. I want to go outside again. So he doesn't realize that, you know, with the condition of his heart, that he's fighting. But it's not he can only fight for time, you know what I mean? It's not a fight he can win, but he don't know that. He don't know that. So that's where we are. It's any day, but who knows how long it's going to be any day. So every night I go to bed, I say goodnight to him, I say goodbye to him, and then he wakes up. So, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm just lucky and blessed that I can work from home, and the financial support that y'all send. And that's the other thing I want to say is at the end of the game, you know, Kyle and I screaming, celebrating, and the whole thing. And I didn't see, you guys sent a lot of money in super chats. There was hundreds. I think Kyle said somebody sent 300. I didn't get a chance to look because the chat was just like, it was like a roulette wheel. It was just going so fast. So I'm going to try to find a way to go back and see who gave what, but all of that set aside, seriously, thank you all. Oh my God, I get to shave this ridiculous beard. I finally get to shave. But I didn't want to shave it because last year I shaved it before I came in here and did a recap because we lost. But if I'm going to be doing a video where we just won the Stanley Cup, the playoff beard should still be there. Okay, that's it. Kyle and I will be live tomorrow. Now we're gonna do it a little bit differently. I don't know if it's gonna be noon because I don't know when we're gonna go to bed. When I wake up in the morning and I see what time it is and see the condition of Fluffy, I will put out a community post that you guys know when we're gonna be live, and in that post there will be a link so that if you want to come join the stream, you can join the stream. You know, if you come on, you just be cool. Everybody gets a couple of minutes just to celebrate. And we'll see how that goes and how long that lasts. I don't know if it's going to be at noon because I'm going to need Kyle's help because obviously sometimes I have to tend to the dog, and I don't know if he's going to be awake at noon because I don't know when we're getting to bed. Panthers, the Florida Panthers are the 2024 Stanley Cup champions. We did it. They really did it. They really did all that last year. Got there. Lost, said, kiss my ass, we're going to make it back and win. And they won Game 7 on home ice, skating with the cup, with rats all over the ice. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. All right. That doesn't quite wrap up year 8. Usually I say that wraps up year 5, year 6, year 7. But that don't wrap up year 8 just yet. We still got some celebrating to do tomorrow when we're all a little bit more coherent. All right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. I'm going to go shave this beard. We'll see you tomorrow.